as we continue to track the damage inflicted by the pandemic here in the US, there have been some themes playing out. If you've been watching, you probably already noticed them. Not only are the health consequences being brunt by minority communities here in the country, but also those economic ones as well. We've highlighted the job losses in communities of color, but also small business owners navigating this with a lot more pain than white business owners as well. In a new survey and study from the MetLife and U.S. Chamber of Commerce Special Report on Race and Inequality on Main Street highlights just this. And here to discuss that with us is our next guest, Rick Wade, VP of Strategic Alliances and Outreach at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, as well as a former senior advisor to the 2008 Obama campaign. And Mr. Wade, appreciate you taking the time to chat here. Just reading through this report, and some of the statistics in here are shocking when you think about how hard it is for some of these minority-owned small businesses to actually access funding here. What did you guys find out?
Well, the reality is, and it's pretty stark, is that minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses have been disproportionately impacted and hit hard by COVID-19, this pandemic. Fear some 60% act of permanently closing, and that's a pretty a drastic perception among Black businesses that 60-some% would potentially close.
Yeah, I mean, that's shocking when you think about how many out there are afraid of that and how much are staring permanent closures, staring it down right in the face. But when we think about what measures are out there, PPP should ideally be able to be accessed by business owners across the board, whether you're Black, white, any color, it shouldn't matter. But what are you seeing in terms of, I guess, these business owners actually being able to access the money, or whether or not they're actually turned down?
Well, I think there are multiple approaches. I think PPP is one, and we're leaning in heavy with Congress regarding the next wave of CARES Act funding to make sure that that's targeted. The reality is a lot of Black businesses, some 2.6 million, most are sole proprietors, independent contractors, 1 or 2 employees, and I think the efforts of Congress to target some of that funding through CDFIs, minority banks, and minority serving institutions has a lot of possibility. So we're advocating for that, in addition to working with financial institutions and venture capitalists. I mean, I think this has to require a whole of society when it comes to capital and getting emergency resources to help support these Black and minority-owned businesses.
Yeah, and beyond that, I mean, we think about the employment picture here and why all of this funding is important to keep businesses afloat, whether it be a minority-owned business or not, really trying to make sure that a lot of these jobs don't go away. But when you look at that, I mean, how much of it is tied to the fact that there aren't a lot of minority-owned businesses in the U.S.? We know that's been an issue here before, and access to capital has been a problem for quite some time. So what do you think that makes this challenge even more of a problem when we think about trying to help all business owners, and whether or not you can tease out aid going to communities of color versus non-communities of color?
Well, I mean, of the 2.6 million, again, Black businesses in the United States, they're very small. I mean, they're independent contractors. I mean, one of the things that we can solve for is building stronger relationships. We've learned that a lot of these businesses are unbanked. So how do we create, working relationships with lending institutions? Our whole equality of opportunity initiative that we've launched at the Chamber is very targeted about addressing issues around access to capital, building more momentum around workforce diversity, corporate boards, connecting Black businesses and minority businesses to corporate supply chains. But in the immediate term, I think, we got to lean in and quickly and try to get some immediate support to these businesses. Long term, we're in it for the long haul around this equality of opportunity to help close that gap.
Yeah, and as your report shows, just a rather large gap to close here, whether it be wealth, whether it be access, or whether it be actually being able to stay alive here with your business in this pandemic, another big issue that we're facing. But Rick Wade, VP of Strategic Alliances at the Outreach U.S. Chamber of Commerce, appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.